Today I want to talk about an issue that is very close to my heart recently. And the case in point here is the explosion of content creators, especially those who are foreigners. By and large, one needs to be honest, the impact of these content creators has been very positive. There are content creators who are promoting the beauty of the country. There are content creators who are coming here to partner with South Africa to build a better South Africa and a better continent. But in the same vein, there are bad actors who are coming here into South Africa, abusing the rights that the Constitution of South Africa confers to people in South Africa to exercise their right to freedom of speech. I'm very much concerned because this issue of bad actors within the content creation space is fast becoming like this spaza shop issue. And to be more specific, there are about 3 or 4 incidents that I want to cite. And because of these 3 or 4 incidents, I want to ask a question. Must government hasten to regulate the content creation space? Just to cite an example, those examples that I talked about. There's an African American brother, and they are so welcome to come here. It is their home, it is their continent. Africa is their continent. He comes in, goes straight to Hillbrow, picks up a sister who calls herself by the name Zindle. And this sister didn't look very much sober. He continues to interview her. And one of the most controversial statements that she made was that it's a South African thing to wake up and just go and drink throughout the day, throughout the week. So you have got this caliber of YouTubers or content creators who don't seem to have any particular focus. They just come into the country and they look out for content that can supercharge their analytics, that can supercharge the likes and the views for their channels. Another case in point is another African American who came into the country, flies in, books himself into a Airbnb somewhere in Sandton or Rosebank, I should say. Wakes up in the morning and just walks around looking for anything that can help him create content. Now you can clearly see that he didn't seem to have a plan as to what is it that he was coming to do here in South Africa. But another African American brother comes in. This brother is featured, I think he's still in the country because his video podcast is very recent. He's interviewing a South African lady who happens to be white. He's talking about race relations. He's flighting videos of black and whites fighting. And this gentleman clearly knows nothing about South Africa and South African history, because he's even asking questions like, do you celebrate Thanksgiving? All those kind of stuff, of things. And he's talking about these issues without any context at all. And you can tell from the comments that are coming through from South Africans that tempers are beginning to flare up. So this got me this got my mind racing to say, what is the risk of a person coming from outside the country, ignite tensions in the country, talk about issues, pit South Africans against each other, touch those sensitive issues that are very emotive to South Africans. What if this kind of people actually succeed in stoking conflict, pitting South Africans against each other by talking to issues they know nothing about? Remember, these are just individuals. It's not like it's a big media house that you can hold accountable. That's a media house that subscribes to a certain code of conduct that is registered, that knows the boundaries that they have to observe. I find this very controversial, because here are the people who are exercising the rights that the Constitution of South Africa confers to them. But in so doing, they are endangering the lives of South Africans, the welfare of South Africans and the country as a whole, by creating content without exercising any sense of responsibility that comes with the privilege of exercising their right to free speech, freedom of speech. Another one now, unfortunately, this one is a brother from the African continent, and I suppose these are people from West Africa. And I'm not saying it's every West African. I need to be very specific, to be very clear on that one. This gentleman goes around and shooting photos, the behind of South African women, and creating this content that effectively body shames South African women. And this person is doing so without even knowing the history as far as the body shaming of the South African woman, African woman. Most of us, I'm sure, we are familiar with the story of Sarki Bartman, who was body shamed by the colonialists, who was taken to Europe, made a spectacle because her body features did not conform to the standards, Western and European standard of what a woman should look like. So this is very sensitive, because the issue of women is a very emotive issue in South Africa. Seeing that women suffered from triple oppression: national oppression, economic oppression, and gender oppression. The worst thing is that this individual is actually exploiting the women of South Africa, denigrating their dignity to make money on YouTube. And my question is it not time that the government should regulate this industry, this sector, before we have a situation like the spaza shop situation, where people came to trade illegally and became so brazen so as to manufacture their own products, endangering the lives of South Africans and young children. So that's I would like to get an opinion on this one as to how should we navigate a sensitive issue such as this one, bearing in mind that there are podcasters like your Dr. Latasha and Mark Blanton, who are the true friends and ambassadors of South Africa, who are helping to reconnect the Africans in the diaspora, African Americans in particular, with the mother continent, and in this case South Africa in particular. And these are great ambassadors, and it is I've got a strong feeling that something needs to be done, because the exercise of rights comes with a certain degree of responsibilities. I'm looking forward to your comments, and if you are in a position to do something about this, please use your flow influence to do something.